Welcome to 5 Points of Articulation. Today, I've got something really special. An early look at the Batman Begins cowl, the Batman Hush cowl, and this very impressive Joker statue inspired by the artwork of Jason Fabok. Huge thanks to McFarlane Toys for sending me these samples to review. Now, because these are statues and not figures, I'm not going to be using my normal 5-point system. They don't really have articulation or accessories, so it just doesn't make sense. With that out of the way, let's dig in. Still starting with packaging, and these cowls come in their own unique boxes. Batman is big and bold, with the source material vibrantly underneath. The cowls are 1/3 scale. If this was a full-sized figure, I think that would translate to about 24 inches. On the tops of the boxes are the respective logos, names and logos on the spine, legal down below, along with some iconic imagery on the back. If by some chance you're watching them in the future once they've been released and you want to find them in store, here's the UPC for Batman Begins and the UPC for Hush. Even just lining them up like this, I like the contrast between the red and the blue. This, of course, is a nice clear publicity still of Christian Bale's Begins uniform, with that classic Jim Lee Hush artwork over here. As for Joker, he comes in an oversized DC digital box. Side by side with the Silver Age Joker figure, you can see what I mean. You got that two-tone black and turquoise motif, as well as the corresponding logos, and a very similar graphic design on the spines, though the background is a bit crisper on the big box. Seeing this makes me wonder if we're ever going to get any mega figs in this line. And then on the back is a full-sized image of some of Jason Fabok's amazing artwork. For all you future people, here's the UPC for that. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this video so far, do me a favor and give it a like. This video is a bit different for me, and YouTube's algorithm doesn't like it when you do anything different. Your likes would go a long way to help make sure people see it. Out of the box and to the top of the scalps, the cowls come to 6 3/4 inches, or they're about 17.5 centimeters. I'm not entirely sure what process was used to make these, though it is some kind of plastic, but I'm happy to report that there are no visible seam lines on the surface area. There are some underneath, and as long as we're down here, notice that the bottom of the mask is covered, so you're probably not going to be putting these on any of your larger figures, no matter how tempting that giant man has lab jaw is. Seeing these side by side, though, does support my hypothesis that this would be a 24-inch scale. For comparison, and here we have the quarter scale Keaton by NECA. That's 18 inches. The details, of course, are absolutely spot on. One thing I really like about the Hush cowl is that they included his white eye lenses. It would have been easy to go the more realistic route and have empty sockets, so it's a small touch, but one that I really appreciate. You look at this and you just think, yeah, if Batman was real, this is what he'd look like. Putting it side by side with the DC Multiverse Hush figure, and it's a nice companion piece. And with the DC Multiverse Batman Begins figure just revealed, I'm sure I'm going to say the same thing about this. While we wait for that to be released, here it is with the old Toys R Us exclusive NECA version. As critical as I've been of the Dark Knight costume, the Batman Begins suit is one of my favorites. I can't wait for the new figure, and this cowl is spot on. And look, I know the basic details of the mask are the same in the Dark Knight, but that heavy, powerful neck really sells it. Christian Bale described that heavy neck as making him feel like a panther, and I totally get it. Each of the cowls have a stand and a base. They've been sculpted to look like iron, and they have some slight dry brushing to bring those details out. Additionally, the source material's been stamped on the front, so lined up on the shelf, it's going to be a nice, consistent display. Moving on to Joker, and not unlike an action figure, he comes with a trading card, but instead of telling you about the character, it tells you about the statue itself. Also like an action figure, it comes with a stand, but as you can see, it's quite a bit larger than usual. And because of the pre-posed nature of the statue, you absolutely have to use that stand. Also like an action figure, and Joker comes with an accessory, this being his very spiffy cane. That slides into his hand like so, and is a much sturdier plastic, leastways compared to the plastic used for action figure canes and staves, so I'm not worried about warping. A little bit of dry brushing on there too. To the top of his head, Joker stands at about 10 1/4 inches, or thereabouts 25.5 centimeters. This is a remarkable piece, and is pretty much my exact mental image of the Joker. Wonderful printed detail for the eyes and teeth. The eyes in particular have a kind of yellow, jaundiced look to them, and the skin has a nice matte matte finish, so it really does feel natural. It goes without saying there's also lots of wonderful sculpted and painted detail in the hair. Based on the hat, the black shirt, and the tie, I'm assuming this is supposed to be the comedian version of Joker. Putting him side by side with the figure and the lavender they used for the gloves and the pants match perfectly. And yes, for the regular viewers, I finally found my comedian Joker. It turns out that somehow he got mixed in with my tub of 5-inch Toy Biz X-Men. Back to the statue though, and one of the things I really like are the more muted colors. It's obviously yellow, but not like a glary Crayola yellow. And I also appreciate the three-dimensionality of the tie. I totally get having it flush with the body for an action figure, but on a larger scale statue like this, it just adds a real sense of dimensionality and depth. All the wrinkles and creases of the suit are very natural. I'm particularly impressed with the pleating of the pants. Of course, he's got his spats, and also his long flowing tails. This is the kind of piece I'd probably put in my living room for all my guests to enjoy. Assuming I have a shelf big enough for this base, of course. I imagine it's standard for the line, but with a 7-inch diameter, it does take some real estate. To be honest, the stand is really my only criticism. Specifically that it has the digital branding. I totally understand why, but with a piece like this, I think I would have preferred branding specific to either Joker, Batman, or just DC. But that's a minor nitpick for what's otherwise a really remarkable statue. One extra feature is the inclusion of a McFarlane Toys digital card. This is a scratch-off giving you a special code allowing you to collect a digital version of this statue. Similar to an NFT, this is a digital rendering of the figure that you can collect in an online showroom. What makes it collectible is the limited number of cards made. As I always say, the digital aspect isn't really my thing, but I know a lot of you like it, and more power to you. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price. These particular cowls are only available on pre-order, but each one retails for $14.99. Currently, Adam West, Michael Keaton from the 1989 film, and Nightfall are available at stores right now, and looking at these has kind of made me want to get those too. There's also a third cowl available in this wave based on Batman's first appearance in Detective Comics 27. At just $15 a pop, these are fun little additions to your shelf, and like I said, you could either collect them on their own, or again as a companion piece to your favorite Batman figure. As for Joker, he's gonna set you back $49.99, and as a non-statue collector, I can't really tell you if that's a great price or not. What I can tell you is that 12-inch scale DC Multiverse statues tend to go for $39.99. That means the extra $10 would just be from the digital token. With the price difference between a DC Multiverse figure and a McFarlane Digital being only $2, that does seem kinda steep. To be honest, without accessories or articulation, I don't really understand why most of them are the same price as a Megafig, though there is a fair amount of painted detail, and of course very limited reuse potential. Also, as a plastic figure, it is more affordable and durable than some other materials, and to my eye anyway, looks just as nice. If you like what you see, all three of these items are currently available for pre-order at your favorite online retailer. Huge thanks to McFarlane Toys for making this video possible. If you like this video, check out one of these. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again real soon, but until then, play nice and have fun.